of live hangouts. So let's start again. We wanted to talk about Roundcube next with the crowdfunding that's happening. In particular, I was hoping to chat a bit with you about the whole, like, why now? Why are we doing this now? What prompted you to look at it at this point and go, it needs a refactor or could use a refactor? Why not like a year ago or 3 years from now? So maybe you could talk a bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the initial thought that started to let me think about it is that after we reached Roundcube 1.1 about a year ago, so that was a major milestone for us. We reached a point where we can say that the Roundcube, as we know it today, I wouldn't say it's feature complete, but it has a decent feature set. It's properly tested. It has proven itself out in the market. So yeah, it's a major milestone that we can look at. And on these occasions, you also start recapping a little bit, maybe start wrapping your head about the future. Where is this going to go? What do you want to do next? So this is how this all gets started. Especially if you look at our surroundings, our competitors, and also some, for example, the third-party libraries that we're using in Roundcube, we see them moving forward pretty fast. And this also forces us a little bit to keep up. And of course, another factor is that the mobile use increased dramatically over the past few years. This requires more optimized apps to run smoothly on mobile devices, and this is certainly something that comes down to the architecture that we have in Roundcube, which somehow lags a little bit behind in terms of that and cannot fully compete with this mobile world. So yeah, that's a couple of reasons why when we started to think about where do we want to go and how to do this. It's on and off.
Yeah, don't touch to leave the call. Confused the plugin on my side, I think. Anyways, so I was just saying that when you and I have talked before, that you've said things about UI being rendered on the server side. And so this causes some problems with targeting mobile devices, for instance.
Yeah, it's all down to performance and more of the application logic that you can move on the actual device, the better for the performance, even especially on low bandwidth networks like mobile. That's another point where we need major improvements in the way how the application is built and how the client and the server do communicate together.
And so this is like one of the major points of the refactor, right, is to address those architectural issues.
Yeah, right.
So the other question I've heard a lot of people ask is, as soon as we start talking about how it's going to be great for mobile, and we're going to think about how are people using their email today, they start going, okay, wait, hold on, I'm using Roundcube 1 right now. What happens to Roundcube 1 while you guys are working on all this?
Well, we're certainly committed to long-term support on current Roundcube. I mean, as you can imagine, such a project as we're looking at it right now, it's not just done over the weekend, so it will take a substantial amount of time also to reality. But that's why we're trying to work on it in parallel, while the old Roundcube will still be maintained. And, of course, we have to admit that once we're focusing on the new project, especially major feature development, will likely just happen on the new project and not necessarily on the old one. Although we're in the open source world, so whoever is interested in having something also happening in the old code base.
Can do so.
And another fact is that Roundcube is meanwhile also part of many enterprise level deployment. So we also want to be around to support these, and we also see major interest from these vendors to support the current Roundcube code base and keep this up. So that will still be around, and we'll gladly receive bug fixes and support for requests.
Well, that's really good because for people that are using it in enterprise scenarios, they probably want that kind of stability anyways. So I think it will work out for everyone really quite well, where one focuses on stability and the other one focuses on what we need to do next.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So once you've got Roundcube Next pretty much done, the core of it, I should say, which is what we're crowdfunding right now. What's the next thing that you would start doing?
Well, the core will essentially provide the framework for building, as we're going to name it, apps on top of that. The first thing will certainly be to add a proper email app. I mean, this is what Roundcube is all about, and that's where we're coming from. So email will certainly be the first major app that we'll develop on top of this brand new framework and architecture, followed by contacts, of course. So we'll at least cover the current functionality of Roundcube Core. And then after that, we'll look into add further more groupware related apps. The calendar was probably the most frequently asked feature. We have it as an addition right now in Roundcube. We see it, for example, in Collab Stack, and we wanna piece by piece pull this into the core product, and of course on a modular basis, so that you can enable or disable these apps whenever you want them in your installation or not. But we want to fully integrate them and not actually have them being as third-party apps that need support by a third party. So right. Build more of these nice things into the core.
Yeah, that'll be really nice, because I know I've seen a couple of people ask as well on the crowdfunding. I've been waiting forever for, just normal calendaring with CalDAV, CardDAV to hit. And I think this is a really good path to that, because once the generic app is in, then the API in the back on the server side can decide what it's speaking to. So that seems like something that a lot of people will be looking forward to. So that's really cool. I've had the Indiegogo app on my tablet here. Every time I glance down, that's what I've been looking at, and watching people, pledge and back it. It's absolutely fantastic. As we've been telling people, please, spread the word with social media to your friends. If you work at a company that uses Roundcube, or you're purchasing a service from a company that uses Roundcube, an ISP or an ASP, please let them know about this, our effort here on Indiegogo, to help push us all the way. We're making great progress so far, but we don't want to slow down. So, did you have anything that you wanted to add to this this component of the conversation, or?
Well, of course, besides the calendar app, we have more stretch goals in mind. They're already highlighted a little bit on our campaign page, and we will add them piece by piece, and maybe in some next interviews we can look more in depth into what we have in mind that could be interesting to be added, of course, given that the necessary funding is also granted.
Yep. Cool. And next time we'll bring a Ethernet dongle for your laptop so that you can use your own laptop and this will go much smoother. But thanks for your time, Thomas. We'll see you online. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.